You are listening to the Urban Sports Scene with Wole and Ray, and we are part of Amplifier Media at amplifiermedia.com. It's time for HBCU Corner. This individual is no stranger to the show. We have University of Maryland Eastern Shore men's basketball coach Jason Crafton. What's up, Coach Crafton, and welcome back to the Urban Sports Scene.
Fellas, what's going on? Good to be here. Appreciate you guys having me. Appreciate the support. For UMES and the HBCU culture, man. Let's have some fun, man. Let's get after it.
We're HBC. We're Maryland. We're Eastern Shore alumni, so this is awesome for us. We're all about Hawk Pride. That's what we're about. Hawk Pride.
Nice.
And this visit is going to be just straight friendly. Last time we were debating, you were trying to say Michael Jordan was from New York, and whatever. I'm not going there today. This is going to be fun because UMES is doing big things, and you are highly responsible for that. So thanks for joining us, bro.
No, I appreciate it. It's all about the players. The players make the coach look good. So, they bought in, and we've got good people. When you try to change a culture, not only you got to bring in, talent and get that talent better, but you got to bring in good people. And we got really good people, and that's what's giving us a chance right now to do some cool things.
So Ray and I, we missed homecoming this year, but how was homecoming?
I think homecoming was cool, not just because we got a win, but it's been really exciting to see just more Maryland Eastern Shore alums get excited about basketball. And it's also been cool to see basketball alums get excited about coming back and feeling like they can come back. It's been such a disconnect with the basketball alumni community because there's been so many coaching changes, and people just haven't been excited about the brand of basketball and the culture of the program. So you guys told me that when I first got here. So it's just what it was. And we've just tried to change that narrative and try to, put together a team of guys that are blue collar, hungry. And it was cool to be at homecoming and just see so many people starting to come back. I mean, we had about a dozen basketball alums just in our locker room talking to our guys after the game. And
I saw that.
That was cool. It would happen organically. They wanted to come back. And it was really cool for them to feel so much pride in telling their stories. And I take that very seriously because that's one of the things I talked about when I took the job was trying to connect, former alums and making them feel like they could come home again.
Well, Coach, you're doing that. You're definitely changing the culture, and you're building this program, and it's showing because currently you're on a 4-game winning streak, including a big win against Temple University, moving your overall record this season to 7-7. What has been the key to this winning streak?
The guys, the players buying in, players playing hard, we're top 10 in the country in steals per game. And, that's a number that we've held, in high regard for our program. We were third last year in the nation. So, I think that, we just continue to become more scrappy on the defensive end and which has been our identity. But at the same time, we've also improved our offensive execution and we've been able to, make some shots, and we've got multiple guys that you have to defend out to the 3-point line that are shooting over 35% from three, and that helps. So I think those things, coming together, and then we've got some veteran leadership guys that have been here with me since day one, and or have stuck it out with this program through getting a canceled season where we were just here doing nothing, having Zoom scouting reports, and not even able to practice and everything. So being picked dead last in the country from Sports Illustrated 2 years ago and coming out and winning 11 games last year and, having a chip on our shoulder still to come out and prove some more. That's what's been a testament to, I'm not here to take the credit. It's the people. You want to change the culture, you got to bring in the right people. And I feel like we got really good people here within our basketball program trying to do some great things. And we're excited about what they're doing.
So, Coach, you mentioned the players. So who are some of these key players that help, get you on the streak? Who have stepped up, during the streak?
Yeah. Well, it's so many guys. And I think that when you look at it, you hear our culture being one way and being about family and togetherness and playing with tenacity, which is our edge. I always feel like for us to be successful, you got to have multiple guys that are kind of in that 8 to 13 point range. It's never just one guy for us. So, and we've got a bunch of guys doing that. Zion Styles right now is, who used to lead us in scoring, is like right there at 11, 12 a game. He's like second on the team in scoring. He comes off the bench, does a great job and has been humble about it. He's been playing great basketball coming off the bench and not getting as much foul trouble. And that's really helped our team having him come off the bench. And he's embraced it, and that's not everybody won't do that all the time, and he's really bought into that. So he's an electrifying player. He's the guy you see on social media getting steals and dunking balls in transition, and Sean Phillip is a guy that is right around that 10, 11, 12 point a game mark. And he also gets assists for us and gets steals and rebounds. He's kind of a utility guy, plays multiple positions. Amadou Fofana, leads our team in assists, and gets about 7, 8 points a game. And, is a great on the ball defender and does a great job of leading our basketball team. Kevon Boyles has come back from injury and he's getting around 12 points a game, and he can play inside, outside. He's shooting the three well. And then Nate Pollard's our double-double guy that got Defensive Player of the Week last week. And, if he hasn't been getting double-doubles, he's always like right there at like 10, 11 rebounds, 8 or 9 points. So, those are just a few guys, but we've had guys come off the bench and have done great things. Glenn Anderson's been huge for us. Troy Hupstead has been big for us. And Cohen Thompson has done great things, whether we start him or bring him off the bench. Tuka Nugent's been unbelievable. I mean, I can go down the line, just name everybody. This has been a entire team effort. It's not just one guy. And even the guys that don't play a lot, the energy they bring on the bench supporting the other guys is incredible. It's something like you're not used to seeing. So that's why I say it's a special group of guys. They're good people and they support each other.
How did it take you was it challenging to get everybody divided into the team mentality? More like this one dude ain't gonna be showcased. It's gonna be a team effort, collective effort for this type of success. Did you have to do any kind of convincing, or it was what it was?
I think it's a combination of things. I mean, for obviously as coaches, we put out the rhetoric of what the theme's going to be, and our one-way theme, I think is something that resonates with our guys. But also just being very intentional in the recruiting process, and recruiting the right types of kids. And we've got a lot of guys that know each other and play together in AAU, or, half the roster's from New York and the other half of the roster's from the DMV. So, and then we got one guy from Memphis, Tennessee, and Cohen Thompson, and he fits right into our culture. So we've got a roster of guys that have not just been here together for multiple years, but they've also spent time before Maryland Eastern Shore. So there's something special about that camaraderie and relationships. They can go after each other, but there's a bond there. So it's a combination. It's a combination of what we're trying to instill, them buying in, bringing the right types of people, holding them accountable, and them holding themselves accountable. And that's what I've seen the most growth is these guys come out and they will hold themselves accountable before I have to say anything. And that's the sign of a mature team, and I think we have that.
Coach, without giving away too many secrets, I tweeted during the Virginia game, these UMES dudes, they play defense. You retweeted it. And I just want to know, is that something that you work on constantly in practices? I mean, I played for one coach where we didn't touch the ball sometimes. We just worked on presses. We worked on defense constantly. So, because I felt like y'all had a chance. If you were able to knock down some, and you had some good looks, open shots in that first half, it would have been tight at halftime. It really would. And it wasn't a blowout at halftime, but still, it was a double-digit lead. But just in general, you talked about being a scrappy defensive team. How do you get to that point?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And our first 5 minutes of that Virginia game, we executed some really good offense, got wide open shots, didn't make them, and then kind of scrapped it up and kind of got back in the game a little bit. And Virginia, they're really good, and you can't miss your first 4 or 5 shots and get down. It's just so. But in terms of the day to day, I mean, every single day, we do some type of aggressive defensive breakdowns, whether it's live or it's stationary type stuff, or it's always something. And every day we're finding ways to work on our rebounding, our ball screen defense, and our one-on-one defense and our help side in different ways. So it's every single day. If you came and watch us practice, it'd probably be like, man, it could probably get a little old sometimes, some of the basic stuff that we do. But our guys have really bought into it because they see the repetition and the results they get from doing this slide drill like 4 times a week, or this closeout drill. It's not like we're out here doing all these high tech. It's a lot of basic drills that we just do after day to just get that muscle memory, get the baseline of techniques of how we want to defend things. And then on top of that, on top of the technique, it's the edge. When you got guys from Harlem and Brooklyn and the Bronx and Baltimore and and tough areas, some of that edge comes out with the technique. And now you've got technique and edge. And that's a pretty tough thing to go against. So we combine that technique and that edge and that tenacity, and that comes from what we instill in them, but also who they are by nature, what they've seen in their lives, growing up in the places they're from. And that's kind of what we look like when we're on the floor. If we look like a blue collar, scrappy, cage fight match like West 4th Street, then like we played at Columbia, everything was so crazy with the game day. We had a locker room with no board in it. And I'm writing on the mirror in the bathroom,
Wow.
And we had to run up the bleachers, and it was like just a crazy setup for us. And I said, listen, let's just get off the bus, or let's just make it like we're getting off the train stop, and let's just go out there and play basketball and take it to them. And I got those type of guys, so you can say that, but you can't always do that. Like my guys have gotten off the train stop and going out and played, in Rucker or at West Fourth at the Cage or Dykeman or whatever the case may be, or in Baltimore or in DC somewhere. So they understand that rhetoric. They've been through that grind, and we're happy to have them here because it shows in how we do things.
So Coach, also, like I mentioned earlier, about the win in Temple, like, for the, for alums who went to Eastern Shore, like that game was it. Like a lot of people were chatting about it. Like, oh yeah, we here. Like we got that. We here now. Like that's all I saw on social media. People I talked to, like, we here now. This was the win. I know in my experience, when I went to the Shore, we didn't have a win like that. Like that win, that, like Ray ran up. Ray, we didn't, not like that.
Yeah, maybe not. Social media wasn't a thing when we were in school.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't. But
we, Coach Crafton. So when they did have big wins, wouldn't nobody talk about it. We would have to Google it, and our dial-up would be slow. But it is the biggest win since we've been around, no doubt.
Yeah, real talk.
I think that there's definitely something to be said. Not to take anything away from any other coach that's been here during the Division I era. Because there were some big wins this, St. Bonaventure. I remember Maryland Eastern Shore beating those guys, I think in like 2013, 14 or something like that. Temple's a household name, and that was a huge win. So, not to get into the debate of if it's the biggest win ever in Division I history, is definitely one of the biggest wins in recent Division I history. And I think that's what people are probably excited about. There's no way around it. It's a big win for our program, and our guys were excited about it. They dumped me with the cooler, and we had some, the water. So it was definitely a step past beating Fordham last year, which was a big win for us. Beating Temple at Temple, and the way we did it, being up 14, 15 points and kind of controlling the game and kind of just, in many ways out toughing them. It was a huge win, not just for the team we played, but for how we did it. So, but what we told our guys was, okay, we don't want to be the team that beats Temple and then goes and loses to Columbia. So, it's great for the day. It's great for the moment, but now you got to get to the next thing. And it was exciting to see our guys come out ready to play against Columbia, go up big. And then when Columbia came back, find a way to dominate the game in overtime and get the win. So I really like the way we closed out the non-conference season, but again, we enjoyed it that night. We came in the next day and said, okay, that's now done. Either way, whether we won those games or not, whether I'm on Urban Sports Scene talking about beating Temple and Columbia and beating whoever we beat in the non-conference and having the best non-conference record in 30 years or whatever it is, either way, we're still going to be getting ready to go to Norfolk to start a new season.
Let's go.
So it's good to have that behind us, but it really doesn't mean anything right now because everybody's 0-0.
Like, Ray, you wanted to take the next question, Ray?
I did. So, Coach, I just want to reiterate the fact that even before, I'll say this, before the Temple win, George Mason also shouted out the work you were doing. Like, I saw that that press conference. So I think people are taking notice regardless, and I think your team is taking on your identity, just watching you on the sideline. But I'm
crazy, right?
Yeah, but I love it though, man. We also cover NFL football. We watch a coach with his arms crossed, and it drives me nuts. I can't take it. So anyway, I'm not gonna mention that right now. But when I cover Howard, I'm here to DMV, and when I got to Howard before, I think whatever game they had, it doesn't matter what game it was, but somebody said big win for your alumni. The first thing they said to me, I stepped in the gym, and then Coach Blakeney mentioned it in his presser after their recent game. And another coach from LaSalle also said the MEAC is actually coming up because, we just saw what Maryland Eastern Shore did. So it's just a big deal. But how is that going to impact, you think, recruiting and just moving your program forward after this season?
Yeah, I think it gives us some conference. Now we have to take that. It's only as good as what we're now able to do in the conference season. So, we need to go out here in the conference and solidify what we did in the non-conference and say, hey, we're going to be a program that's going to be, right here. Listen, we came out here in the summertime and said that we wanted to win the MEAC. We wanted to not just get into the NCAA tournament, we wanted to win games. You know, like that's when I came in after the day after the conference, the Columbia game, and the non-conference was over. I said, what did we say in the summer? We said we wanted to win the MEAC. We wanted to get to the NCAA tournament and not just be there like, hey, we're the happy HBCU that got to their first ever NCAA tournament. No, we wanted to get there. We wanted to win games. And so we started having those types of conversations and saying like, so if this is we said those things, so now we just can't ever get too high. We can never get too low. So I think when the smoke clears, we'll be able to probably receive it like, wow, that Temple win, like we enjoyed it. But like we've gotten so far past it now because we know we got Norfolk State coming up. And Norfolk State's a really good basketball team that's won games like Temple, you know, as a habitual thing in terms of what they do. So we're going, you know, like that, you know, as much as it's big for Maryland Eastern Shore, we're going to be going against the juggernauts of the league, and we got to get over that high because that high is not going to get us to winning the basketball game on Saturday. What's going to get us to having a chance to beat a team like that is staying locked in and staying focused. So. Yeah, man, it's great. It's great for the brand. It's great for everything. But we want to come into conference play here, and we want to really set the stage and, you know, go after a team like Norfolk and put ourselves in position to win the game and go after Howard. And we got a great opening weekend here playing against two of the top considered programs. We were picked preseason 6. So we get a chance right now to really show what we can do. And we're going to be able to get to mid next week and have a good idea of where we are.
Absolutely.
See, Coach, you're not doing, you know, segues, man. You know segues. You know, we went right into it. Like, you know, again, look, Norfolk, Saturday. It's going down, man. You're driving out there. You guys are going out there.
That's
they're
back-to-back
MEAC champs, man. They're back-to-back MEAC champs. Do you categorize this game as a huge game? So a lot of people would say it's too early, but do you categorize this game as a huge game?
I think, hey, if you know me and you see how I coach, I just coached against the Division III team we played the other night against St. Mary's, the same way I coached against Temple. You know, they're all huge to me. It's not like we're some established program where it's like everything just runs itself. My intensity level has to be at a consistent place every single night, every single practice, you know, for us to be able to get some consistency here in everything we do. My players, we all on the same page on this thing. So the way I coach, we always want to feel us, feel my players, feel my bench, feel my coaching staff, feel me. You know, we want to bring that type of energy everywhere we go. So is it a big game? They're all big games. Yeah. You know, I think for the fans, you know, when you look at the MEAC standings, you see they're 1 and we're 2 right now. You know, I think it brings a little bit more excitement to it from a fan perspective. But, you know, make no mistake about it, it's 2 of the best defensive teams in the league. And we're both scrappy. We're both young, intense coaches. We're both from New York. We both know each other. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a scrappy one. And I know they respect what we're doing in terms of building this program. We got a ton of respect for what they've done as a program. And the only way to become anything as a program is to take down the top dogs. So that's the mission right now, is to go down there and not just, you know, have a great time, but to put ourselves in position to try to win the basketball game. So that's what our mentality is going in, and it shouldn't be any different, you know, for anybody that's going to go down there. So that's what we're going to try to do.
See, when you play the top dog, or when you go up against the bully, you gotta hit them in the mouth early. And I know you 2 defensive teams, but I'm hoping that in that road environment that you'll be able to get ahead, maybe in the early going, because I think that sometimes that impacts an experienced group like Norfolk. I mean, that's to me the key to them is they return their entire team from last year. Yeah. I know we had one coach say, well, they might be complacent. I'm like, nah, man, I think that's a big deal when you talk about just how teams are cohesive. But I think that you have the same thing, and that's what you can fight kind of force for force with them.
We're similar in terms of the rhetoric of, yes, when you look at the returning guys, you know, the difference is their experience returning is winning experience, you know, winning in the MEAC, winning in postseason, and our experience is building experience, you know. So, you know, and you know, those guys, you know, they're talented and they're on the same accord. Watching film already, like I said, they play both ends of the floor. Coach Jones does a great job. It's going to be a chess match. Every time we play each other, there's always glimpses of some really tight segments. They've always pulled away and won the game, but there's always been segments in the game where you kind of see like it's been a real chess match, and we've, you know, found ways to be very competitive against them. We've never beaten them yet, and our guys know that. So, you know, I expect it to be a old school class, a MEAC classic, and let's go down there and let's give it our best shot against the league's best. Everybody knows they're the best. And I got a lot of respect for them because they got to take everybody's best shot all the time. So everybody's going to Norfolk trying to take down the champs. So that's a credit to Rob Jones' ability to coach, those guys' ability to continue to win games, and what they built as a basketball program down there. Nothing but respect for those guys.
Well, Coach, I'm wishing you the best. I wish y'all the best of luck. Obviously, I'm biased. Let's keep it a buck. I'm biased.
That's what I like about this. I can be a fan in these interviews with Coach Batchelor and you, of course. I can be a fan and I can just represent like I want to. We love our MEAC coaches, though. I'm not here to sugarcoat it, but at the same time, they already know where home is for us. And I told Coach Batchelor this past year, this is a milestone for my wife, but I will be there homecoming this coming school year, next year.
That's what's up.
I'll be back, bro.
Here's what's cool. Well, we're gonna say here's what's cool. And when you talked about the Temple thing, and I'm so sometimes locked in and trying to just stay on track and not get too high, not get too low. But I'm at the gym the other night, Pure Fitness, and I go there all the time, and no one ever knows who I am. and I don't have Maryland Eastern Shore gear on, and I just go in and I get my workout in, and I was in there the other night, and I had people stopping me, being like, "Oh, you're the basketball coach at Eastern Shore. We saw you guys beat Temple, and we saw you guys beat Columbia, and we saw." And I was getting stopped, and I was like, I thought that was pretty cool to see that there was a little bit of buzz going on in this small community that's never happened before. Because I walk in there and no one ever knows who I am all the time, and I love that because I can just go and work. And I for 25 minutes, I got my workout was stopped, and I was sitting there talking about Maryland Shore basketball. And I just said, hey, you know what? For a small town like this, to start seeing them get excited about what our guys are doing on the basketball floor, hopefully that leads to us putting some more people in the stands and being able to take advantage of having a great home court environment.
Definitely. And Coach, to add on to that, it's not just the win in Temple. It's the 4-game winning streak, but also it's like what you just mentioned, what you just said, like the home environment. You're 5-0 at home. Like there is so much to be positive about this team and with the direction of this team. You know what I mean? Like I went to, even when we were at the Shore, we were at games, teams would beat us at home. Like it wasn't a home court advantage at times. Like now you're building that. So to me, it's a lot. It's a lot to be positive about the program, to be honest with you. A lot.
Appreciate you,
man.
Hopefully
we can come back. Like I said, we had beat Marist and Lehigh at home, and then and taking care of business against the 9-1s. I mean, my first year we couldn't beat a Division III team. And Maryland Shore had lost, in prior years back to back to Salisbury University. So, we've come a long way. We want to keep building this thing. Let's try to get to the MEAC bye week and maybe do a check-in or before the MEAC tournament. And let's be out there ready to go to that MEAC tournament, in a position for Maryland Eastern Shore to go out there and win that thing.
I should be at the MEAC tournament too. We're going to catch you in person soon, bro.
Yeah, we are.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Well, hey, Coach, thanks for being on HBCU Corner. Is there anything you would like to add?
Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. Just love the HBCU movement and everything you guys do for the culture. Love talking hoops and just come out and support Maryland Eastern Shore basketball, man. Just come out and see these guys. We got 8 seniors. They're playing tough blue collar basketball. They also got a 3.2 GPA this fall. So we got, winners on the floor, winners off the floor, winners in life. And that's what we're trying to build here.
You heard it here, man. Hawk Pride. We're out.
Catch it.